Hey, what's up? It's Mount the Master, and I'm gonna be doing another episode of the stupid shit I did when I was a teenager. And this time, I'm gonna be talking about the time that I was 16 and I was roasting my classmates on social media. So when I was 16, when I was in the 10th grade, and I started when I was 15. I had a friend, McNally, who I talked about in some of the other episodes of the Super Show I did when I was a teenager. And we had made, what's it called? We had made an Instagram account talking about, we had made an Instagram account called Exposing Hype Beasts. Because at this time, me and McNally were hype beasts because we were sneakerheads, and we were really into collecting sneakers. And hype beasts are people who only get the most popular shoe, you know. So me and McNally were at my house and we were bored, and McNally said, "Hey, let's make it an Instagram account roasting people, calling them hype beasts." And I said, "Of course." So we got my old Instagram account. I just gave it to McNally, and McNally started like looking through the people I followed, and he would go to my classmates and his classmates as well, and he would post pictures of them on the account called Exposing Hype Beasts, and he would roast them. And we thought it was really funny because we were dumb teenagers. And when I get to school, because school started, like the school year of 10th grade started just probably 2 days later. And I get to school and everybody's saying that that's me. Even though it was McNally, but it was my old account. And, I was saying, no way, that's not me, because it wasn't me. And anyways, coincidentally, there's like 10 or maybe even 15 accounts on Instagram that pop up, and they're all about roasting my classmates, roasting the people at the school that I went to. They're all about the school that I went to. And of course, everybody keeps saying, every time there's a new account comes out roasting people, everybody's saying, "That's Malta Master, why'd you make this count? Why'd you make that Malta Master? That was you." Of course, I understand people need to point the finger, they need to blame someone, so they chose me. I didn't really care though, I just ignored them, because I was just doing me, minding my own business. And then, it gets to the point, dude, where I say, "You know what, man, I'm tired." And this is probably like 6 months later or something, or maybe less. I say, "Man, I'm tired of all these accusations, man. I'm gonna make my own account now, and I'm gonna tell people that it's me, so that they know that this is the real Malta Master account for the purposes of roasting my classmates." And it was what was it, spring break of sophomore year, and there's this classmate of mine, Albors, which I actually talked about in my first episode of the Stupid Shit I Did when I was a teenager. He was always riding my dick and everything. He was always like texting me, and I just ignore him. But he was texting me that day, and he was asking me, "What am I doing?" I said, "Dude, I'm about to start an account." And I told him about it, and he made the account actually. Albors made the account for me. And he followed a bunch of people who followed him back, so we had 60 followers. This is the night before we go back to school, spring break, which was the year 2014 of sophomore year. And so we get on the account, right? And we have this classmate, Smoorenberg. and Albors puts up a picture of Smoorenberg, and he starts writing a whole bunch of fucked up ass shit about Smoorenberg. Like he put a post, dude, and that shit was pretty messed up. Like he was calling him retarded and all this shit, bro, and like a whole bunch of stuff. And honestly, I was pretty messed up. So I went on the account and I took that shit down, right? And I made a post. The way I made the post that I put out 3 on each on a different classmate. The way that I put out posts is I would make them like, I don't know if you guys ever seen those little videos of people who they roast somebody for like a minute straight, but instead of coming up with 1 or 2 good jokes, they come up with like 12 bad jokes, and that's how I did it. And it was kind of funny, and the first victim of mine was my man Gravestone, who's actually been on my channel because that's my best friend. It was Gravestone, we made a little video about him. It was funny. And after that, I immediately made one about another classmate I had, which was also my friend, Joel Rios. He's actually been in some of my multiplayer videos, which I already put out on my channel. Because we were friends, we would hang out. And the third video I put out was about Smoorenberg, the dude that Albors had roasted, but he wrote some fucked up ass shit, so I took it down. I made one on him, right? Now, let me give you a little bit of a background on Smoorenberg. People would tell me that this motherfucker had problems, right? But I didn't believe him. I thought he was just doing him. I thought he was just unusual or something. Because he would be in the lunchroom and he'd be making an ass out of himself, dude. He'd be making an ass out of himself, and everybody would be saying he had problems, but I didn't believe it. So I made one about Smoorenberg, and Albors texts me probably 30 minutes later telling me, dude, Smoorenberg keeps saying that that's me making shit about him on this account. So I take down the video that I made roasting Smoorenberg, and I send him a message. I sent him a text message saying, hey man, that wasn't Albors, that was me, dude. I'm sorry, I took it down, bro. Like, I'm not gonna put up anything about you anymore. And he just leaves me on red. So I'm like, okay. So the next day I go to school. It's the first day of school from spring break. And 10 minutes into my first period, I'm sitting in my class. I'm fucking grabbing my dick, because that's how I used to sit in class. I used to be like that. Like, I used to just be laying back all the way back, grabbing my penis. And 10 minutes into class, the freaking security guard comes into the class and he's saying, Malta Master. And I say, yeah, that's me. And he says that he's gonna escort me to the counselor's office. Well, it wasn't really the counselor. I don't even know who it was. It was the assistant principal. And she had a friend who was with her. I don't know if she was a counselor or what, but they were together. And he asked me, can you put your phone inside of your book bag, before you come? And I said, yeah, of course. I put it inside my book bag, and I give him the book bag, and I walk with him to the assistant principal's office. Obviously, I know why they're calling me there, And we're in the assistant principal's office, and I tell him right off the bat, listen, I already know I'm here. I roasted these guys on Instagram last night. That's the only reason why I would be here. And they telling me, wow, you're very lucky that you told us the truth, because we would have expelled you if you didn't. So they're writing me a 1-week suspension right there. They're writing me a 1-week suspension that says cyberbullying on it. Even though Gravestone is my best friend, dude, that he knows I was just playing Joel Rios, I was making fun of him for looking like a Native American. I was making fun of him, and he was cool with it, bro, because he knew I was just playing around. But Smoorenberg this motherfucker, he wasn't cool with it, you know. So that's why I was there. I was in their office, and they called my parents, dude, and they were telling my parents that I was, you know, that I was brutally cyberbullying this kid Smoorenberg on Instagram, dude. And that shit was like Hell in a Cell in WWF, you know. Like that's what they were saying I did, you know. And they pick me up from school. My aunt picks me up from school. My dad gets home. He grounds me for a month, dude. I thought that was bullshit, you know. I honestly thought that I really should not have gotten grounded. It turns out, from what people told me, I actually was in a call with Joel Rios, one of the dudes that I roasted not too long ago, and he actually confirmed this. He told me his side of the story, and his side pretty much matched with what everybody else told me. He told me that Smoorenberg showed up to school with his parents, and Smoorenberg looked really mad. And he showed up with his parents, you know, and actually, you know, the people who were on the phone, my dad told them that Smoorenberg's parents showed up to the school and told them told them what I had done, and told them that was unacceptable. That it was unacceptable. But Smoorenberg was telling everybody that it wasn't true. You know, that no, that's not true. That's not true. You know? I come back to school a week later, and everybody is saying, holy shit, Malta Master, dude, we thought you were expelled. We thought you were out of here, dude. And I said, no way, dude, I'm here to stay, right? And instead of just moving on with my life, I decide to escalate things a little further. It's lunchtime, and I go up to the table Smoorenberg is sitting at, and in front of everybody, I slam the table, and I'm saying, Smoorenberg, you're a snitch. And I'm calling him out right here. I'm telling him, come to McDonald's after school, and we're gonna fight right there, right? And he says, he's looking at me, he's saying, I don't have time for assholes like you, you know? And well, of course, he didn't show up to McDonald's. The next day, I'm in class, and Smoorenberg walks into my classroom, which he's not supposed to be in there, to give something to the teacher. And he's looking at me saying, telling me, you're dead, you're dead. And a few of my classmates saw it, right? And honestly, dude, we went a whole year, dude, where we were pretty much not cool with each other at all, dude. But after a year, you know, we were growing up and all, so we knew that shit that happened, dude. That shit was in the past. You know, that shit was water under the bridge, you know. So like we would talk to each other again, you know. Not that I talked to him before that, but I'm just saying, like, we would talk to each other every now and then. So it's senior year, and I have a free period. So every time that I'm in this free period, I just go to lunch. And I go to lunch, and I sit with the seniors at lunch. And Smoorenberg's in my grade, by the way. Smoorenberg would be in the table where the sixth graders are, where the girls are, though. It's all girls, and they're all sixth graders, and he would be playing with them, but he would be very touchy. He would be very touchy, you know. He would be very hands-on, very physical on these girls. And me and the other seniors, we would just watch it, and we would laugh, and we would joke around saying that he was a pedophile, you know. But we were just kidding. We were just joking, you know. We didn't think that he was gonna like make a move on these little girls, you know. And we would joke around about it. And there's this dude who was in our table who he said that he saw Smoorenberg in the elementary school building with the elementary kids, and that, you know, he was like playing around with them, and that there was this other dude, Brandon, who was a classmate of mine. listen, I mean, I'm not saying that Brandon is exactly a credible source or anything, but Brandon told me that that he saw Smoorenberg driving around with 3 6th graders in the back of his car, playing EDM music really loud. So, you know, after a few months of this shit going on, it gets to the point where Smoorenberg is pretty much trying to see how far he can get, because one day this motherfucker he takes it too far and he starts grabbing their breast area and you know, or you know, at least where they're supposed to have breasts. They don't have breasts because they're 11 years old, and he does that, and all the girls get really quiet. By the way, I wasn't here for this. I got there just a little bit after, but this is what everybody sitting at the table told me. That the girls got really serious and they just got up, and they were talking to each other, and they all got up and they went straight to the counselor's office. They went into the counselor's office and they told him, listen, this motherfucker was grabbing us in our private areas and all this. Smoorenberg was in deep shit right here, because Smoorenberg's parents showed up, because the counselor called Smoorenberg's parents saying, you need to come here. You need to know what your son just did. And Smoorenberg was saying, no, I didn't do it. But then they showed the video of Smoorenberg doing it, because they caught him on camera. And pretty much the parents of the little girls, they all showed up to the school, and they were in the same room, they were in the same office as Smoorenberg's parents. Listen, I'm not mentioning this so you can see how much of a bad person Smoorenberg is. I'm not saying that. Look, because, you know, I don't know, I didn't keep up with this guy, you know, so for all we know, he could have, you know, reflected on what he did and became a better person and never have messed with little girls again. But I'll tell you something right now, at that time, dude, me and the other people who were sitting at that table, we were talking about it, dude, and honestly at the time, because we were so naive, we thought that he was just playing around and he took it too far. But now as an adult, I think that I speak for everybody who was sitting on that table today, that motherfucker had problems. And because, I don't know, maybe his parents didn't understand that, he ended up, you know, it led to this, because his parents didn't, you know, deal with his problems. They didn't help him with his problems. They didn't seek for help. This guy used to curse at his parents. He used to curse his parents out in French at home. And, you know, I just think that it's pretty sad, it's pretty pathetic that 2 years ago, you know, you stormed into that office talking about me, telling them, get him out of this school. He's vicious. He's a thug. Get him out of this school. He doesn't belong here. He belongs in a zoo. He belongs in not here. He doesn't belong in school. He's vicious. Look at what he's saying on Instagram. Look at what he's doing to our son. He's a ruthless bully. But then when your son does something far worse than me, you're on your knees, you're serving the cock, begging all these parents, please have mercy on my son. I think that that's pretty pathetic on Smoorenberg's parents. I mean, I would have loved to have seen their faces when they were crying in that office, when they were sobbing, begging for their kid to just please give him another chance. People deserve a second chance. Boys will be boys. He's just a kid. He doesn't know what he's doing. This is nothing, you know. I really don't know what to think about it, really. That they have the audacity to go in there and ask for forgiveness for their son. Ask for their son to be forgiven. Which, in hindsight, I think he should be forgiven because, you know, he was just a dumb kid, and if he got the help that he needs, if he's not doing that anymore, I think he should be forgiven. But if he didn't, to hell with him and his parents for failing him, you know. But this is nothing against Smoorenberg, you know, because I don't know where he's at right now. So maybe he changed for the better. So yeah, the moral of the story, dude, is you really should not be a dumbass and go on social media and call somebody out, especially, you know, when they're associated with you, especially when you know, you're classmates with them. They're acquaintances with you. You have to see them on a almost daily basis. You have to deal with them. For example, if they're a coworker or something, if they're a coworker, don't roast them on social media like that, you know, because you're gonna get in trouble. I even put my name on the Instagram's bio. I put a Malta Master or whatever. Dude, that's like if I wrote in the bio, fuck me. Just fuck me over right now, you know? Dude, I mean, I should have seen it coming. I had it coming, you know? Of course I was gonna get suspended. You know? I mean, of course, you know, looking back at it, I can't help but think they suspended me for this guy, for this pedophile. You know, I can't help but think that, but you know, nowadays, you know, I really don't look back at my high school times unless I'm making one of these videos. So I don't hold a grudge, man. You know, Smoorenberg, I wish him luck, man. You know, I hope he's doing much better, man. And yeah, pedophilia is, I hate that shit, bro. Like, that shit is worse than rape. That shit is rape, but with kids, dude. That's another lesson you should learn. Don't fuck with little kids, dude. Like, kids can have sex with kids and adults can have sex with adults, but adults can have sex with kids, dude. That's disgusting. That is fucking disgusting, bro. I'll be damned if you see me on one of those fucking, what are those shows called? Predator? That show Predator, that motherfucker comes out of the closet and he says, take a seat, motherfucker. Take a seat, bro. Do you know who I am? I'm Chris Hansen. You know, you're never gonna see me on there. Because I'm not one of you sick fucks that goes after kids, you know? But yeah, that's my video. Thanks for watching. Don't put any bad comments about Smoorenberg. You can put a bad comment about his parents if you want to, but don't put anything about Smoorenberg, you know? Because we don't know. You know, just wish him luck. Thanks for watching and rock and roll, motherfuckers.